Welcome to our virtual recognition ceremony. We hate that we cannot give awards to those deserving in person. However, if this time away has taught us anything, it is that tough times don't last, tough faculty and staff do. And we hope that you think this presentation is funny, and if you don't, it's Paul's fault. Because the whole point of this every year is to remember the hard work everyone has done while enjoying a joke or two at someone's behalf. Because remember, the S in Southeastern stands for snark.
That's right. And this is Paul. That was Tyler, in case you couldn't tell which shrill voice you were listening to. I hate that I don't get to see all of you. I miss all of you. Okay, I don't miss all of you. Matt Lees, you know what you did. I'm not going to forget about it. But most of you, I miss seeing you.
Absolutely. And because we believe in formal introductions, this virtual presentation is being emceed by Mr. Paul Cummins, as you can see in the very formal attire, and then myself in a helmet. So that's nice. Paul actually picked that photo out for
safety first.
Safety first. Absolutely. In this time, safety first. Okay, so we want to start out with the Greenie Award. As you can see, we have several Greenies. Rachel Atkins, Tyler Borland, John Coram, Allison Edmond, Amy Hicks, Mariah Holder, Michael Intravaya, Lori Olson, Sabrina Stout, and Gareth York. And for some of you, this marks the completion of your first year. For others, you've been hired for 20 seconds and the ink hasn't dried on your contract yet. Either way, we are so happy you are joining us. Don't worry, you won't know everyone's names for quite some time, but it's okay because we're not going to learn yours until you've been on campus for 5 years.
That's true. But it looks like a great group, 11.
Wow.
Yeah. And then when we get to our 5-year, it's down to 2. Don't take that as any indication of what you're getting into, but we're glad to have you. Welcome to the family.
And so speaking of our 5-year, wow, these two, 5 years employed at SIC. Honestly, it seems like Corey Garmain and Ben Ross have been at Southeastern for much longer and also just got to campus all at the same time. Let's refer to you two as Southeastern's Benjamin Buttons. Old, but then also new simultaneously.
Now look at these pictures, people. This is the buddy comedy I pay money to see, right? It's almost as if like Peabody and Sherman and Spuds MacKenzie came together. A button-up family man turned upside down when he's face-to-face with America's original party animal, Ben Ross. Take my $10. Take it.
A popcorn flick. Okay, so the 10 years of service. You guys, I don't want to make this weird, but this group is truly the most attractive, and honestly, it's like looking into a mirror. But for real, congrats to us, Shari and Amber, we made it.
Yes, Shari and Amber, congratulations. I'm so proud to work alongside you for a decade. Again, Shari and Amber, congrats. That's it. I said what I said.
Okay, I see how that's going to be. And hateful. Hateful, Paul. Okay, 15 years. Ed Fitzgerald, Sean Smith, and Amy Spivey. Okay, let's take a moment. Did Amy Spivey start at Southeastern when she was in middle school? That is some powerful Botox. Sean Smith has not stopped talking since the day he stepped on campus, and luckily, we've been all ears for 15 years. I am saying, honestly, I'm going to say nothing but nice things about Ed Fitzgerald because I fear a trapdoor or a dead animal could be placed in my office. So, Ed, you're the best.
Yeah, I second that. For all you greenies, take a good look at Ed. He's going to be the guy running down the hall by you, with a big smile, but he's probably got 4 fires to put out. So you're only going to see him at a brisk walk and a happy expression. And then Sean Smith, I've had my office next to Sean for almost 10 years now, and good Lord, is he loud. Like, it's always party music, rave lights, honestly, most of the time in his office, but he gets the work done. And he really is one of those quality educators that makes Southeastern what it is. And Amy Spivey, same thing. She's always the best. And I've known Amy for years, and just a quality.
Yeah, quality human all around. All 3 of yins, Ed, Sean, and Amy. All right, 20 years. Paul Cummins, Robbie Lindhorst, and Kimberly Rapp. Honestly, I have been telling students that Paul has been at SIC for 20 years for the last 10. So really, this recognition is long overdue if you think about it. Robbie is always smiling, and most think it's because he's happy. The truth is his mouth is wired that way from a shop accident, and we're just going to leave it at that. Aren't we, Robbie? Always be nice to Kimberly. Always be nice to Kimberly. She knows what you buy on Amazon during your lunch breaks with her IT skills. And I want you to know that I'm using lunch break with bunny quotes. Air quotes, people. That's what that means.
Well, clearly this is the most attractive group. And, back to the Greenies, I remember standing 20 years ago in the Greenie recognition, getting my Greenie pin, which you'll get in the mail, with these 2. And we had probably about 10 more. And so I kind of think that we're like the victors of the Hunger Games. We've made it when others haven't. And well done. Will I see you at 30 years? Let's hope.
Yeah. And to just make sure that Paul will make it to the 30 years, I do want all of you to know that while our banter is fresh and lively, Paul and I are actually not even in the same room right now. We are practicing social distance. I would not want to be in the same room with Paul even if the coronavirus wasn't a thing, okay? And that's for my protection.
Yeah. I'm a virus on my own.
Truly. 25 years. So Kim Martin, Greg McCullough, Ellen Prince. First of all, Kim Martin deserves all the awards as she taught me in 2 math classes at SIC back in the day. I would say something about Greg, but I have not put in a support request ticket to do so, so we're just going to move on. Ellen, thanks for helping raise my boys. I cannot wait to give them back to you ASAP. Even the ones that are too old. Take them all. Take them all right now.
Well, first off, let's acknowledge that Tyler was bragging about his 2 math classes. We all know Math 101 is a struggle. But, yeah, with these 3 class acts across the board, I will say, when you talk about Kimberly Rapp, she knows what time you're spent on Amazon. I'll never forget the day that we were at leadership and Greg McCullough was like, there's a lot of people visiting Facebook during the day, and he looked right in my face. I'm like, I know it was me. So good for you, Greg, for being thorough. These 3 are amazing. Rather than saying a lot of glowing things, I'm going to tell you some fun facts that many of you may not know. When we went to online teaching and weren't face-to-face, and Taylor's stock went down because Kim wasn't buying suits anymore. That's true. Secondly, in the 80s, Greg McCullough played Alan Thicke's younger brother on Growing Pains. Look that up on IMDb. It's a fact. And finally, Ellen, well, many call her the Yoko that broke up New Kids on the Block. So we got some really good people here.
She does have the right stuff. That's a New Kids joke. All right, okay. 30 years. Ugh. Dr. Rice, Dean Cyrock. Honest to God, this is loaded and rigged. Like, what are we supposed to say that won't get us in trouble about these 2? So here goes everything. Jonah might have changed roles at SIC, but one thing has remained consistent over 30 years, and that's his passion for sweater vests and a neutral palette of fashion. Brown on brown on brown. Never looked better. Never looked better. And to Gina, as your replacement, I can say thanks for leaving, but also I'm happy that we were able to do this recording for you. I know that you were very worried about actually reading the screen, and honestly, Mike would have been a fine reader to you. I'm just assuming that he reads things to you. But these two are dimes a dozen, true gems. They're just the best, and you can FOIA that. Okay, Paul?
Again, wonderful. Jonah's first year at SIC was my first year as a student, so make sure you recognize that difference in age. So I can't imagine SIC without him, and Gina has just been amazing. But I'm going to tell you what, we're going to hear more about how amazing Gina is in just a minute.
Oh, okay. All right. So now we have what I will never experience, the retirees. So here we go. We're going to start off with Randy Daniels. Paul?
Yes, I have. For the retirees, we have a little thing from people who have written, and they would have been the people to stand up and come to the podium and say things. So I apologize that it's going to be Tyler and I reading someone else's words, and I hope we're able to do them justice. I will say personally, Randy has always been the person when I see him at Southeastern, I can't be in a bad mood. He is the funniest and the best to work with. So I didn't even realize Randy was retiring until I saw this clip, and I was a little devastated. But let's hear what Carla Lewis has to say about Randy. She says, Randy has spent 30 plus years working at Southeastern. His unique personality and sense of humor will not be forgotten by anyone who worked with him. Randy's been a loyal SIC employee, hardly ever missing a day of work. After all these years, Randy still deeply loves the college, and the relationships he has built here mean the world to him. He can be counted on to inject a positive spin and humor to any situation. I know his life, bigger than life personality will be greatly missed. And I think everyone will agree with Carla when she says that.
Thank you so much. Next, we have DeeDee Trulia.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and go on. I'll take DeeDee. Look at DeeDee. I mean, come on. Can you go wrong with DeeDee? Again, someone that's going to be dearly missed. Now, Kelly Whitler has written a thing for DeeDee because she knows her best and has had the privilege of working with DeeDee. So here's Kelly's tribute. We all have different roles to play at Southeastern, yet each role is vital to the success of our mission. DeeDee Droyd has lived her employment life at Southeastern trying to stay out of the limelight. However, her role at Southeastern has by no means been of little importance. I call our partnership the tag team because we've worked together long enough to handle events and activities like a well-oiled machine. I jokingly refer to DeeDee as my right hand or my smarter half. You see, event life isn't normal. You spend countless hours, nights, and weekends and in the public eye, and then it's over. Most people never see or even think about the behind-the-scenes preparation. DeeDee has always handled each event with class, humor, and a work ethic that few could match. When events would become stressful, DeeDee rolled up her sleeves and just got to work. I've been so fortunate to have an event partner like her. One of my funniest memories is the day she came down from the gallery kitchen after working an event with ambassadors and told me that she thought the kids had never learned how to wash dishes properly. Evidently, she witnessed students washing dishes in cold water without soap. What was her reaction? Well, she gave them a lesson on how to properly wash dishes. It's now a topic at each ambassador orientation. I would say that DeeDee's greatest accomplishment at Southeastern has been her impact on our students. DeeDee's been a mentor to the majority of our students that have passed through our door each semester. On any given week, you could come in our office and find a student sitting in a chair next to DeeDee's desk, sharing their hopes, dreams, fears, successes, or often just to chat. DeeDee was a part of their support team at Southeastern and their biggest cheerleader. Sometimes you just need someone to believe in you before you can believe in yourself, and DeeDee was that person. A few students have shared what they believe or what they feel for DeeDee. One student says, I want you to know how thankful I am to have had you as a mentor while attending Southeastern. You've made such an impact on my life. I am so happy to call you my friend. You were always there when I needed to talk, and you are so supportive. Thank you for stepping into my life and showing me what I could do. Another student stated, congratulations, DeeDee, on your retirement. You deserve it. My time as a student ambassador was one of the best things about Southeastern. I miss coming to your office in between classes and chatting with you. I will miss you, but congratulations. And then Kelly finally ends with, while you so deserve to retire, I can't imagine work at Southeastern without you. I wish nothing but the best for you on this new journey. We were a good team. I will miss you, my friend. From Kelly Whitler.
Oh, congratulations, DeeDee. Karen McConnell. Well, her years of service at Southeastern were from 1990 to 2019. And so Gina Cyrock, as well as Barbie Moore, had some things to say. The first thing that Gina writes, I cannot share too many expletives. I'm just kidding. But she writes, it was the first day of school in the early 90s. Karen wanted to look extra special to meet the new group of students. So she dyed her hair at home. She came into the office the next day with her long hair fixed tight in a bun with a net around it. And she was almost in tears talking about how bad her hair looked. One of the other nursing faculty said, your hair can't look as bad as that bun with the net, just take it down. Karen then shook her long hair while taking it out of the net, and the other faculty said calmly, put it back in the net. She never dyed her hair again. On a serious note, Karen really cared about her students. She worked very hard to ensure that they had all of the information and experiences they needed to pass to become a nurse, but also to be the best nurses they can be. She truly cared for each and every student in her classes. She was a stickler about assignments and exams, and she had no problem setting students straight when it came to arguments from students about test questions. When we saw her mouth set a certain way, we knew to get out of her way. And that's from Gina Cyrock. Barbie Moore writes, Karen McConnell began shaping my future as a nurse in 1991 in nursing arts class. She was the instructor I most admired and still do. Her love of nursing, kindness to patients, and patience with students continue to motivate me. Karen McConnell set high standards for knowledge, skill, and heart. Some of my more difficult clinical firsts and training experiences were also with Karen McConnell, and I have played them over in my mind, drawing from her finesse whenever I had been in a situation to help a colleague over the years or faced a challenge. I'm forever thankful and attribute the areas of nursing for which I excel to having her as an early mentor. And that is from Barbie Moore. Next, we have Pam McEwen, who served at Southeastern from 1992 until 2019. I personally had the pleasure of working with Pam starting in 2010. And Pam always had two things consistently, a smile on her face, as you can see in that picture, and also a story to tell. Pam was also a fountain of historical knowledge. She could tell you when things were put in place and why. Pam always overviewed all of our graduation audits. She also overviewed our transcripts. And the thing that I will tell you that I remember the most about Pam is that she had the ability to type on Post-it notes. I don't know how to type, period, on a typewriter. Pam was one of the last employees to have a typewriter on her desk, and she would type Post-it notes on a typewriter because she said her handwriting wasn't very good, and she had the most beautiful handwriting you've ever seen. But Pam will be missed. She was a wonderful asset to student services for many years, and we celebrate your retirement, Pam. Next, we have Gina Cyrock, and as you can read on there, Tracy Wasson had quite a lot to say. She writes, I remember sitting in the hallway, my head in my hands, tears in my eyes, and an overwhelming sense of fear and failure after I failed a nutrition test. I remember while driving home that day the numerous times that Ms. Cyrock had told the class that she was available anytime for support and to reach out to her for an appointment. And I made that appointment for the very next day. She spent an hour that day as I told her that this career choice as a nurse was important to me. And she told me that she also wanted to see me become a nurse and that it was important to her as well. She spoke those words, and her actions that day demonstrated that I mattered to her. I haven't ever forgotten that day. And that's from Tracy Wasson. Dr. Karen Rice writes, nurse, educator, colleague, peer. Just some of the words to describe our newest retiree, Gina Cyrock. Gina graduated from SIC's nursing program in 1981 to begin a career as a healthcare provider. She returned several years later in 1986 as an adjunct, in 1990 full-time, to become a nursing instructor and direct her passion and love of nursing into mentoring and helping others who chose a similar path. Gina has spent the majority of her career as SIC in a number of capacities to better the institution, including faculty member, clinical instructor, director of nursing, division chair, on to academic dean. In all the positions that she has held, she has been a strong advocate of teaching and learning. She has made service to others, whether that be students, colleagues, friends, neighbors, or community, a lifetime commitment. But if you ask Gina to describe herself, she would say mother, wife, daughter, teacher, colleague, friend. Now she can add one more adjective to that list, retiree. She says that she's going to spend her days sitting on her front porch, but if I know her, she will be working behind the scenes to advocate for students and nursing education. And that's from Karen Weiss. Now this next letter is being pared down. It is from Dr. Rice, and it is 4 pages, single-spaced. So I will be condensing this, but the full letter will be available to Gina. Here are 7 ways to describe Gina Cyrock. Gina's work ethic is par none. Sometimes I will email folks late at night with an idea, not expecting an answer until Monday. No go for Gina. Not only does she respond to me, but has an action plan ready to implement by 5 a.m. Monday. That's the way she rolls. Gina has that $1 million dream that can't be achieved with dimes work of work ethic. And her sense of mission and drive goes beyond work. It engulfs her whole life. Gina, number 2, gives much of herself to others. She makes commitment a way of life. Her work on the HLC appeal this past year was outright tenacious. She took the challenge and didn't let loose with her zest to prove that SIC was as good as we all knew it was in terms of assessment. Her commitment demonstrates an unbelievable focus and intensity that makes ideas concrete, making her a very real part of the success of SIC. Number 3, Gina is genuine. I don't ever get the sense that Gina is tooling me. That's one of my pet peeves anyway. Fake nice is worse than being bluntly hateful in my opinion. Gina is neither. She is genuine in her comfort and her criticism. She can speak the truth with love. One employee told her years ago, you know, Gina, you're the only person I know that can tell someone to go to hell and make them like it. That's genuine. Not to mention pretty darn gifted. Number 4, Gina is fair in all that she does. Gina's sense of justice is as good as any Supreme Court member. Her decisions are fair with thoughtfulness, wisdom, and evidence behind them. Number 5, Gina has street smarts. You see, there's not an either-or decision between street smarts or book smarts. You need both. Gina possesses that combination. She demonstrates a common sense in her engagements. Gina has an acute sense of people and situations whereby she can size it up in a big picture sort of way while not losing the details. Number 6, Gina is compassionate. Last April was a horrific time for me personally. I was recovering from surgery, My father passed after a long battle with cancer, and my sister died 14 days after my father, leaving just me and my mother. Physically and mentally, it was a crushing time. Work had to be done. As my father always taught me, the world stops for no one, although going it alone is tough. While I had a great family and external friend support here at work, where we spend a tremendous amount of time with each other, I could count on Gina to be there with advice, but only when I asked. I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the compassion she provided me when my son Connor almost died from sepsis a little over 2 years ago. She was a rock for me, and her expertise of the situation was something I relied on, but not nearly as much as I relied upon her compassion. Number 7, Gina is a true friend. Gina and I grew up at SIC. We served as junior faculty, then as division chairs. We were very first on assessment team, then on the executive team at SIC. The journey was not always easy, and at times it was scary, particularly when the great budget impasse hit Illinois and the college was in a precarious position. Through all of it, every joy, every challenge, every battle, every pleasant moment, she was always a rock of friendship, one made up of so many great traits. She's caring, she gives mutual respect, she shows concern, she expects and yields real trust, she provides unbelievable support, she allows freak-out moments with a calming ear. Dynamite comes in small packages. Gina demonstrates that for sure. Just remember, from here on out, it's goodbye tension and hello pension. And that's from Dr. Jonah Rice. Happy retirement, Gina.
Absolutely.
So we also have some special awards and some recognition that we would like to present as well. So the Lauren P. and Velma Dallas Outstanding Teacher Award, Kim Martin.
Yes, and I'm so glad that I get to speak to this. There are so many people who would, but I'm so glad I get to celebrate Kim and who she is as an instructor. I will start, though, with a really funny story. Okay, so you know how we line up at graduation? Greenies, you'll have to wait till next year. But Kim has always been, not always, but recently just one ahead of me. And that's when Alan was there, when now he's retired. So it'll just be Kim and I in line. But I remember talking with Kim as we were seated, and I was looking at all of her, she had her nice award, she had her pins, and she had all of her accoutrements. And I noticed this one medal, and I said, "Oh, that's really nice. I like that." And she goes, "Oh, you have one of these. This is the Teacher of the Year award." And I look at her half-eyed. I'm like, "No, I do not have one of those, Kim Martin." Thank you for bringing that up. So with that in mind, congratulations on your second, Kim Martin. But all joking aside, I think Kim Martin is the teacher who should get it every year. I'll be honest with you. I think that she is dedicated. I think that personally, she's always going to be someone I look up to as saying, yeah, that's who I need to be teaching these students. I know when we're on hiring committees and we look for people who are teaching, I think, well, who do I want teaching my students? And if I think about the quality of excellence, I think that Kim is absolutely on the top. So there were some comments made from Jason Fitzgerald and from Jim Ellis, and those are shared with her. But what I want to do is I want to share comments from two students that had Kim Martin in class. First is Dr. Jared Mitchell, former student and medical doctor at Deaconess in Indiana. And he says of Kim, she was the best teacher I had in my college career from the beginning to the end. Furthermore, upon transferring to the University of Illinois and thriving in my classes after Calculus 3, I was so proud of Mrs. Martin pushing me to do my homework every day. And not only the math skills, but the study skills Mrs. Martin taught me. I'm forever grateful to her. I have told her, and I will tell you, she has made a real and important difference in my life. Cody Cusick, a young high school principal in our college district, states, I use problem solving every day at work and with our 3-year-old. Mrs. Martin at SIC taught me that, and I love everything about education, all aspects of teaching and learning, just as she does. She is one fine lady. You know the starfish story, the one where the man told the woman that it was no use trying to throw the starfish back in the ocean. There were too many. And she respectfully replied, it made a difference to that one. That is who Mrs. Martin was for me. And hundreds of other students could say wonderful things, but yes, that's who Kim Martin is. I have never seen anyone more student-focused, more driven to help the students and give them what they need. So congratulations, Kim. You're one of the best.
Absolutely.
And then, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing, yes.
Well, I will say, too, that I remember Tyler Bowman as a student, and his favorite teacher at Southeastern was whom?
Miss Kim Martin.
Of course it was.
Of course, yes.
Forget. Okay, and then I want to do the mission with Ben Ross. There were a number of people who nominated Ben for this, and it just makes sense. So I'm going to read 2 of those nominations. The first one says, it says, we literally would not have functioned during this COVID-19 pandemic without Ben Ross. He has worked tirelessly to provide for faculty and students during this time of crisis, and that needs recognition. And that was from Tyler Billman.
Poetry in motion, those words.
For a better one, I'll read mine. Everyone on campus has charged forward at this very difficult time. However, Ben has been the backbone of helping instruction stay high quality and stable. He immediately responds to instructional needs and always has the best positive attitude. So thank you, Ben. You've been great, and you are absolutely deserving of this award.
Absolutely. Okay, outstanding achievement in assessment also goes to Dean Cyrock, who literally taught me everything about assessment, really took me under her teeny tiny wing, and taught me the ins and outs, and believed that I could chair assessment, thought that I had the skills possible to do that, so her faith in me means everything. So Gina has taught so many at Southeastern, including myself, not only how to complete and review assessment projects in the classroom, but educated us on its importance. Assessment was not just compliance for Gina, it was a way to improve student learning. She gracefully defended our institution during the HLC appeal regarding assessment and has fought to make sure our assessment practices are quality. We owe Gina a lot of gratitude and thanks to her ongoing work in assessment. She has truly excelled our processes and made sure that student learning was at the forefront of the endeavor. I cannot thank her enough. That HLC appeal is something I will never forget, and I don't think anybody sitting around that table will. And she was a shining star that day. The COVID-19 Transition Hero Award is James Carlton. And I want to read one of the nominations that he received, and it happens to be from Dr. Jonah Rice. I want to nominate James Carlton for the Non-Instructional Special Award for his service during the remote transition. He has set up our Wi-Fi, spent many hours on campus for IT help and distribution, repaired countless machines, even made house calls. His volunteerism and using safe social distancing, he has truly gone above and beyond. I think he is richly deserving of this award, and I will absolutely agree with that. Well done, James.
And I will take the next COVID-19 Transition Hero Award, which is Gary Jones. You see here that there's one blurb from one of the nominations that he received. I think everyone here knows how important Gary is and how he is the person who needs the least accolades. He doesn't put himself out there, but man, is Gary the guy, the go-to guy that you need. So thank you, Gary, for everything you do and everything you've always done, tirelessly, selflessly. Thank you, Gary. And then next we have our Remote Best Practices Champion Award, Ben Ross, third time on the slideshow. Give someone else a chance, Ben. But this is honestly a wonderful way to kind of say how important it was that he helped everyone through this transition. There were so many people that took charge and just went full force, and Ben was definitely one of those guys.
Absolutely. Above and beyond. Well, the last two things that I want to present are special recognition. So congratulations to Lolita L. Mack, president of the Illinois Trio Association. I know that there is a lot of work involved with this, and she updates leadership group about it, all the ins and outs required for this. But we are so proud to have the president of Illinois Trio on our campus. So well done, Lolita. And then finally, I guess, congratulations to you, Paul.
Drum roll.
For being elected as comptroller for the Phi Rho Pi National Forensic Executive Board. That is a huge deal. I know many people don't really know what that is, but it is huge. He's one of very few that sits at a main table. They make huge decisions regarding thousands of students and their future in forensics, in college level forensics. And so well done, Paul. Represent us well. Don't screw it up.
Thanks. I can't wait to start trolling those comps. I cannot. I will be the first to say goodbye, and then I'm going to hand it off to Tyler. If you've made it this far, thanks for putting up with us. Again, I can't wait to see your faces on campus when we are allowed to do so. Even Matt Lee's, I can't wait to see you as well. So stay safe, everyone. And I hope to see you in the fall. Bye.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been our recognition event, and we hope to see you so soon. Please stay safe.